escape is in the other's failure. So I ask you, when faced with death, who will survive?
If you got stuck in a game with Jigsaw, which trap do you feel most confident breaking out of? Share your takes in the comments.
Number 10. Death Mask. Saw 2.
Hello, Michael. I want to play a game.
Police informant Michael Mark's head is trapped in a mask with spikes protruding from inside both ends. With just 60 seconds on the timer, Michael not only has to extract the key from directly behind his eye, but also free himself.
How much blood will you shed to stay alive, Michael? Live or die? Make your choice.
Asking someone to use a small scalpel to tear into a sensitive part of their body was never going to work out. As expected, Michael can't bring himself up to endure such pain and fails. Even if he'd gone through with it, a singular minute is inconceivable for a person to brave through blood loss and unlock the heavy mask.
No!
Number 9. Silence Circle. Saw 3D.
She has been your publicist for years, knowing your lies, but choosing to speak no evil. She has been richly rewarded for her words, but today she will be rewarded for her silence.
Staying calm during moments of distress is incredibly difficult, but Jigsaw expects Nina to stay quiet while a literal hook is pulled from inside her stomach.
Will Nina live or die, Bobby? The choice is yours.
In this trap, Bobby Dagan has to fish out the key to free Nina from her bonds, but has only 1 minute. What happens if he fails? Nina gets impaled by pointy rods straight into her throat. She has no room for movement, and Bobby's flimsy effort leads to a lot of pain she can't help but scream from. No normal person can withstand such agony and remain silent. Of course, the trap doesn't take this into account, and Nina has to endure a very nasty demise. Remind us never to go fishing with Jigsaw.
You just needed to shut up!
Number 8. Oxygen Crusher. Saw 6.
Your health and hereditary background put you in the highest category of success. However, the same cannot be said for your adversary.
Saw 6 protagonist William finds himself in a contraption with Hank, a man who works in his office. The more a person breathes, the tighter metal clamps jam into a victim's sides. The one who holds their breath longest gets to live.
The only escape is in the other's failure. So I ask you, when faced with death, who will survive? Live or die, William. Make your choice.
Except William's opponent is much older and has a history of blood pressure and heart issues. Basically, Hank is set up for failure even before the game begins. Despite his best effort, he can't compete with the younger, healthier William, who watches Hank slowly be crushed. Considering the rest of the trials are designed for William to complete, Jigsaw never planned on Hank's survival. Honestly, if this trap doesn't motivate you to quit smoking, then nothing will. Number 7. Classroom Trap. Saw 3.
What happened?
The victim was held in place by these chains.
Amanda Young always intended for Troy to be executed, and that's exactly what happens in this trap.
Hello, Troy. I want to play a game.
The victim has to pull on hooks pierced into his body before the timer runs out and blows him into smithereens. Miraculously, Troy is able to pull on each chain and remains lucid enough to nearly finish the task. But since the last one is hooked into his jaw, Troy's doom is sealed. And speaking of sealed, the door was completely locked, so Troy wasn't going to escape anyway.
Why was the door welded shut? The guy couldn't get out if he wanted to.
Since his suffering doesn't have any bearing on the outcome, it would have been less painful for Troy to wait for his death from the beginning. Number 6. Flammable Jelly. Saw.
If you're so sick, then why do I have so many photos of you up and about? Let's put your so-called illness to the test.
If there's ever been a trap where the chances of winning are astronomically low, then this is it. Mark is injected with poison, has a flammable substance smeared on his body, and has to use a candle to find the code on the walls. The codes in question are hundreds of numbers with no logical way to figure out the combination. Oh, and he has to wade through shards of glass while barefoot.
That's a flammable substance smeared on your body. So I would be careful with that candle, if I were you, or all the people you've burned with your act. Just might have their revenge.
It's an entirely unfair game the victim is thrust into, with absolutely no hint or clue to make things easier for him. All this because Mark lied about being sick to his company. Does skipping work really warrant being burned alive? Jigsaw certainly thinks so.
There was someone standing outside here watching through this peephole. Looks like our friend Jigsaw likes to book himself front row seats to his own sick little games.
Number 5. The Rack. Saw 3. When Jigsaw admits a trap is his personal favorite, you know the victim is doomed.
The device Timothy is strapped to is my personal favorite. I call it the rack.
Timothy is strapped into a contraption that twists his limbs and neck. He's certainly at Jeff's mercy, who has to find a key to release him. However, since Timothy caused an accident that claimed the life of Jeff's son, the latter isn't in a particularly merciful mood.
Just standing there, you're an accomplice to murder. Are you a murderer?
I wanted to kill him every day. Oh my God! For 3 years, I wanted to kill you.
The rack acts a lot faster than it should, as Timothy's limbs are shattered soon into the game. Even if Jeff were quicker, Timothy was never going to leave unscathed. The fact that he can do nothing about it makes it all the more tragic. By the time Jeff comes to his senses, Timothy's death is inevitable. Number 4. Pendulum Trap. Saw 5.
Hello, Seth. I want to play a game.
Although it's an impressively built trap, this one was meant to kill all along. Seth Baxter, the man who murdered Mark Hoffman's sister, is bound to a table while a large blade swings towards him.
All you have to do is destroy the things that have killed. Your hands. You must insert your hands and push the buttons to start the devices before you. Your phones will be crushed to dust.
Seth follows the rules and sacrifices his hands to stop the pendulum, only for it to keep moving. The man dies confused after doing what he was supposed to do. But we learn that Hoffman created the trap for revenge while pinning the blame on Jigsaw.
They say imitation is the sincerest form of flattery. But I find it somewhat distasteful to be given credit for work that's not mine.
It's a memorable trap both for its brutality and the catharsis Hoffman gains. It also goes to show that Jigsaw's wonky philosophy can easily be twisted for straight-up murder.
Killing is distasteful.
To me, there is a better, more efficient way.
Number 3. Angel Trap. Saw 3.
Hello, Carrie. I want to play a game.
The Angel Trap is meant to test the victim's will to survive. Pity Amanda had to be the Jigsaw apprentice on duty that day. Detective Allison Carey is strapped to metal brackets that will tear her apart unless she frees herself.
You will have 1 minute to find a way out. At the end of that minute, you should know better than anyone what happens then.
Carey has the near impossible task of plunging her hand into a jar of acid to retrieve the key.
But do it quickly. The acid will dissolve the key in a matter of seconds. Make your choice.
She proves her fighting spirit by completing the game, but Amanda rigs the trap to be inescapable. With no way out, Carey accepts her fate and is brutally executed, continuing Amanda's habit of making traps that are impossible to win. Number 2. Water Cube. Saw 5.
Hello, Agent Straum. If you're hearing this, then you've finally found what you've been looking for.
Hoffman recognizes Agent Strom as a threat who can expose him as Jigsaw's apprentice. He uses the water cube to try and eliminate him for good.
Heed my warning. Do not proceed. For this room can either be your sanctuary, or it can be your grave. The choice is yours.
After Strom ignores Jigsaw's warning to proceed further, Hoffman ambushes his rival to set him up for the trap. Strom wakes up with his head in a cube without any clues or tools around.
Hey!
Things get worse when the cube starts to fill with water. Leaving Strom helpless was a deliberate choice, as Hoffman planned on drowning him to have no witnesses. The crafty agent escapes anyway, improvising with the pen for a makeshift tracheotomy. His survival surprises Hoffman as well, who never expected Strom to make it out alive.
I tried to help. He didn't make it. Nobody made it.
We got a live one!
Number 1. Reverse Bear Trap. Various.
Hello, Amanda. You don't know me, but I know you. I want to play a game.
When it comes to the reverse bear trap, someone is always meant to die. In Amanda's game, she has to kill another man to break free.
There is only one key to open the device. It's in the stomach of your dead cellmate. Look around, Amanda. Know that I'm not lying.
Meanwhile, Hoffman and Jill's games are essentially executions. In the former, Jill binds Hoffman with the timer activated without leaving a key. However, Hoffman frees himself by using the bars on a door to stop the trap halfway through. He returns the favor in the next film, with Jill now on the receiving end. While most of the reverse bear trap victims have escaped, this time it really is game over as Hoffman hangs back to witness Jill's grisly end.
Game over.
Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from Watch Mojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.